What's up, good people? It's your boy Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder, coming to you with part three of our eight principles of a MVP brand and business. It's eight principles of a MVP brand and business. Part one, we talked about God, prayer, and faith. Part two, we actually had a discussion on the family and the effects of the family having an MVP brand and business. So here we are with part three, which is number five. Principle number five, which is education. Now, what part does education play in building a a successful MVP brand and business? Well, it plays a integral part in it, but not always in the terms that people may think. Not just formal education, but also other forms of education, because education isn't just going to college, going to school, and getting an education that way. You actually can get education in everyday, ordinary living and learning. You get education by being around wise people. And I'm going to talk about it really quickly from three different perspectives today. Education with knowledge. What do you get with education? You get knowledge, you get wisdom, and you get understanding. So we're going to talk about that in that respect today, and having a successful business. One of the things that I learned with one of the books that I did, which was Young and Gifted, the New Generation of Entrepreneurship, was what it showed me in my research that I did. Over half of the individuals that I looked up that had started their businesses. Subway was one. The owner of Subway was one that I looked up. The owner of Holiday Inn that I looked up. Of course, um, you had Bill Gates. Was another one that I looked up as well. But all what I found was the majority of the individuals that had started their businesses, they had some formal education, but they did not have some of them did not even graduate from college. They actually had, it started and had some courses and everything like that, but did not graduate from college. And it showed me that formal education isn't the be all end all. Now, it's great. It's going to give you knowledge. It's going to give you information. It's going to give you resources that you will gain from getting that education, and I think that's a great thing. I will always think that it gives you some structure, it gives you discipline, all of those things that you need in business and being able to have a successful business. So you want to make sure that you do have that foundational part of your education, but you also want to have the exterior part of education, which is being around the right people, taking in the correct information, the correct knowledge, the correct wisdom, being around the right people, because there's nothing worse than being around the wrong people, taking the wrong kinds of advice. And one of the examples I'll use today, and I've looked it up, was recently, within the last day or two, it was announced that LeBron James bought was joined with a group that has part ownership in the Boston Red Sox. You know, and LeBron James has bought into educating youth by starting a school back in his hometown, or back in his home state of Ohio. I believe it's in his home state. I believe it's in his home city. I think it's in Akron or around Akron, which is where he's from. So he's poured into the education of kids so that they can grow up to do beyond what he's done on the basketball court. His significance off the court is far outreaching his influence on the court. And I've only said that about one other athlete, and I could probably say two. But my favorite one is Irvin Magic Johnson. He's a Hall of Famer. Everybody knows greatest to me, the second greatest basketball player ever, just below Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to me is the greatest basketball player ever. So people can argue about that, but I'm not here to talk about that. But the reason I say that Magic Johnson he's a far better businessman, and his influence went beyond what he did on the basketball court to extending into the community, and that will last longer than the Hall of Fame, all of the accolades, all the rings that he's gotten, the championships that he's won, and everything like that. Same thing with LeBron, buying into the Boston Red Sox, pouring into the education. These are things that are taking him to that next level, and he will be a billionaire very soon. I promise you, he will be a billionaire very soon. But what that has shown me is the strategic moves that he has made from a business perspective. He's made those moves having wise counsel. This is a man who has surrounded himself with some of the greatest business minds that you could ever think of. I mean, this man, he sits with Warren Buffett. I believe Warren Buffett is giving him business advice. So he's seeking wise counsel, because what does wise counsel give you? It gives you knowledge. He's gotten wisdom from them, because Warren Buffett has been, the one of the greatest business minds that we could ever dream of. So he's getting wisdom from him of the experiences that he's had, the number of years he's been in business, and then he has understanding. He gets to be able to understand from a business perspective what it will take for him to be and get to where it is that he's trying to get to. So those are three major things, and him, LeBron, and even the other young guy that I think gets it as well as Patrick Mahomes, because he's going beyond the football field. LeBron is going beyond the basketball court. Patrick Mahomes bought into, for those that may not know, Patrick Mahomes bought into, similar to LeBron, I believe, where he bought into a piece of the Kansas City Royals. So he owns part of that. He's part of that ownership team. LeBron is a part of the Boston Red Sox ownership team. And even though I'm nowhere near any kind of bit of Boston fan, nothing Boston. I'm sorry, y'all. I hate all things Boston, but I cannot hate on the business moves that LeBron has made, the business moves that Patrick Mahomes have made. Those are MVP boss moves. You hear me? So that principle of having education, it gives you that knowledge, it gives you that wisdom, it gives you the understanding to be able to make the kinds of moves that they've moved. And if we don't have to be on LeBron's level, we don't have to be on Patrick Mahomes' level in order to make not to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, to gain understanding, in order to be able to make our next best move. What is your next best move? And I'll ask it like that. You as an entrepreneur, you as an aspiring entrepreneur, what is your next best move? Take the time to of what it is that you want to do, what it is that your industry is doing. Take in to get the knowledge that you need in order to be able to understand your business, knowing your numbers, getting the knowledge to be able to know what works, what doesn't work for your business, what products and services that you need in order to be able to not just meet the needs of your clients, but exceed their expectations, because that's what it's about. That's what education gives you. Education gives you the ability to be able to put forth the best product, the best service that your company is able to be at the level and at the capacity that you're able to operate at. And as you do that, you will find yourself moving your business to the next level. LeBron is doing it. Patrick Mahomes is doing it. They are operating at their particular level, just like Magic Johnson operated at his particular level. When he first started in basketball, he wasn't the businessman that he is, but what he did that was key was he surrounded himself with wise people. Dr. Buss, who was the owner of the Lakers, took Magic Johnson under his wing, educated him on business, how to do business. Magic talked about that. Irving, I'm gonna call him. He talked about that all the time. The knowledge that Dr. Buss gave him, the wisdom that Dr. Buss gave him, the understanding that Dr. Buss gave him. Same way with LeBron, the knowledge that he's gaining from a Warren Buffett, the wisdom that he's gaining from Warren Buffett, the understanding that he's gaining from Warren Buffett. All of those things are part of what education is. Like I said, education isn't just formal. It's about who you surround yourself with, what they can pour into you, what you can learn from them, what you learn from them, what um, what is it that they are teaching you that you would not have gotten had you not talk with them, had you not had conversations with them. You can have, it's important now, what I call my circle of influence. The people that I have around me are people that educate me on things that I might not know. The resources that I have that I can tap into that will enable me to be able to get an understanding of something that I might not understand. I can pick up the phone, or I can shoot an email, shoot a text to someone that's in my circle of impact, and I can ask them about certain things, or I have the ability to ask them, hey, where can I go and look for this, or where can I go for that? And I'm able to take my brand and my business to the next level. So those are the three things that you gain from a principle number 5, education. When you have that education with you, you're able to take the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding to be able to grow your business, and your brand. So that's it for today. Join me tomorrow. I'll talk about principle. This will be part 4, but it'll be principle actually number 6, which actually is sacrifice. Sacrifice. Because being an MVP brand, being an MVP business takes sacrifice. So that's it for today. I appreciate you all tuning in. It's your boy, Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. As I say, this is 2021, and what we're about is we're leaving the familiar and elevate our influence. Elevate your influence by educating your mind. We'll talk to y'all soon.